Hey fam, welcome back. I'm your favorite life and relationship strategist, MarshaunO, and I want to come and ask you, would you be mature enough? Would you even think that it's possible that your spouse will come to you and say, hey, can we have an open conversation about opening up our relationship? Yes, I am talking about open relationships today. And if you think you could handle such a conversation. So this all came about because I have a potential client. And this person was telling me how her relationship loves everything about the relationship. However, they do not have sex. They haven't had sex in a while. And at this point, this person is tired of talking about it. And so the couple is engaged. And this person was like, you know what? If this is how it is right now, then why in the hell would I sign up to be married? Because I do not want to give up sex. Perfect question to ask. Because this person said, you know what? I actually like my life with my partner, but I absolutely do not want a sexless marriage. So let's see what my partner would say if we have a conversation about opening up the relationship. And the only thing that I go outside of the relationship for is the sexual bond, because I don't want to give up on sex, but I also don't want to give up on the life that we're building together. And I had to sit back and pause because I'm like, okay, all right, would I be mature enough for this conversation? and I had to think because this person actually said that the partner agreed to opening up the relationship because they didn't want to lose this person. So I said, okay, well, all right. So what's actually going on? Like, well, why are we here today then? And the person said, because I don't know what the hell I'm getting myself into. Like, I actually started doing it, but I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. Now, without taking the conversation any further than what me and this person talked about, I'll just say that there are 5 things that I want you to at least be open, because this is one of those tough conversations that I talk about, y'all. I literally, truly, honestly, all of the words that you can put in there, the descriptive words that you can insert in the sentence, believe that you should be able to have a conversation about any and everything. It's all about your tone and your delivery about whatever it is that you want to say. But these are the types of conversations that you need to have, because if you do not have them, it does not go away. That topic does not go away. It does not just fly away from the person who wants to have the conversation. That person who wants to have the conversation not either. They shut down from talking to you about it. They just started talking to somebody else about said topic that you don't want to discuss. Number 2, then because you're not open to having the discussion, they actually start to act on it. So a tidbit of information: if you don't want your partner to act on something, and not that you are taking responsibility for their actions, that is not what I'm saying. However, you have to be open to have said conversations no matter how tough they are, because you decided to do a big girl and a big boy thing, which is to get into a relationship. Everything that happens in your relationship, you are not going to agree with, you are not going to like, you are not going to want to put your stamp of approval on it. But these are the conversations that you must have, because the conversation does not go away just because you shut down and stop talking about it. Your partner just moved on talking about it to somebody else, and at some point, your partner is going to take action on it. Because now he or she is putting a visual picture to what it could be like to do X, Y, and Z. And at some point, the visual picture no longer fulfills that need. Whether it's a visual picture in their head, whether they're getting on the internet to find such things, at some point they want to physically touch the other person to do said thing. And whoever that said person is usually not the spouse, is usually not the partner, because you kept shutting down about it. You kept saying how dirty and nasty it is. And so now I'm going out there to try it out secretly. Another tidbit of information that I want to let you in on is that this particular scenario is more common than you would think. I talked to my sexual therapist friend, and she actually said this is a lot of the reasons why open relationships actually happen, because one person in the relationship shuts down sexually or just is not interested in it at all, but the other person wants it, and so they become in an open relationship, because the party that does not want to the party that does want sex, goes outside and gets it from somebody else, but then comes back home and lives the life with the other person. And she actually told me that this is more common than I could even imagine. And this is how it starts most of the time, meaning open relationships, because one party shuts down sexually and the other person does not want to stop having sex, so they find somebody else to have sex with. But the kicker is, it's not cheating per se, because the spouse, the partner, knows that this is why the partner is going out to meet X, Y, and Z. They're going for sex. Like that's what it is. They know. Now, some, depending on what the topic is, whether you're actually going to build an emotional relationship as well as sexual, or if it's just going out there to have sex and move on, the rules are different for each couple. And I'm sure there's some overlap, but every single open relationship doesn't have the same rules, is my point. So anywho, now getting into some of the things that I want you to think about, especially can you handle the conversation of being in an open relationship? The very first thing that you want to think about, especially any tough conversation, this one happens to be about an open relationship, but any tough conversation, try to be open enough to hear what he or she has to say, so you can draw out what they are trying to say, so you can actually hear what they're trying to say without judgment. Like, try to be open to hear why he or she is drawn to an open relationship in this aspect. Why are they drawn to an open relationship? What actually happened? What are they watching? Who are they hearing speaking about this? What are they allowing into their lives to say this is an open relationship? Is this something that they have been accustomed to? Is this the way that they grew up, but now you're just learning about it? Like, what makes them drawn to want to even be in an open relationship, other than the fact that you are not having sex with them any longer? So besides that fact, because we already know that part, besides that fact, what is drawing you to say, I want to have sex? And if you're not going to give it to me, I want it from somebody else. Like, what's drawing you to even have the topic of conversation, specifically in this case, about an open relationship? It's the first thing to think about. The second thing that you have to think about is, just because you're being open to having the conversation, it does not mean that you're being open to say, yes, go ahead and do it. Or even no, you can't do it. You just know that you do not have to give into it. Like, that's an option. It's a choice. Just because we're having a conversation doesn't mean that I'm saying yes to what you are asking me, or saying that you are drawn to doing. That's not what that means. It means that you are being this mature woman, you are being this mature man in order to listen and hear and take in and understand your partner more. That does not mean just because you're having the conversation that you are agreeing to what they want to do. Again, in this case, have an open relationship. Know that you have that choice. Also, if you do get put in this situation and this conversation comes up and you are the one who wants to still have sex, but your partner is not or does not have any sexual desire, or maybe it's something to do with like them not taking care of their body and their body is shutting down, or they're on a lot of medications, whatever it is, they have some debilitating disease or something like that, right? I gotta sneeze. I know that's what's going on. So anyway, as the person listening to, let's go back to the couple. Her her partner actually said yes. Yeah, let's open up the relationship, right? Realize that you are human, and also that the offer is very, very tempting. And it's going to be something that you really need to think about. It's going to be something that you don't need to take lightly just because the yes is there or go ahead is there, whatever verbiage the person is using to give you permission to say, yes, we can continue to live our lives together and build our lives together, but go have sex out there. That is a very, very, very tempting offer. Please believe you're human. It's a very tempting offer, but is this going against your moral compass? And if it is, that is something else that you need to be aware of, because at some point you're going to be feeling shitty for doing this if you are going against your morals. Obviously, there's some other things that we could talk about or address, maybe a divorce or whatever it is, right? Or a breakup, whatever. In their case, they're engaged, so call the engagement off. But is this something that you would be doing that is actually going against your moral compass or even your religious beliefs or just your personal beliefs? Like, you don't want to be out there like that. Like whether you're having sex with one man, but you're actually in a relationship, like you just don't want that. So think about it. This is going to be something that could be very, very tempting to do, especially if you are the person who still wants the sex and your spouse said, yeah, go ahead and do it. So many other levels to this shit. There's so many other levels to it. All I'm saying is to think about it, ponder on this for a while before you hear yes and then tomorrow you out there trying to do X, Y, and Z, because there's just a lot more to it. Anytime we have sexual ties with the person, have sex with the person, we leave a piece of us with them. So it's not just as simple as, yes, we're not having sex, I still want sex, I want to go out there and have sex. It's a lot deeper than that, which is why so many of us end up in these emotionally crazy ass states, because we don't take all of this into consideration. Number 4, know that if you shut down talking about this with your partner, that your partner, I already mentioned this earlier, but I'm saying it again, your partner will talk to somebody else about this, and guess what? It heightens the chances of him or her doing it behind your back. I literally already said this point, didn't even realize it was on my paper already. So it's that deep though. You can shut down, you can stop talking about it, but guess what? If I'm the person that still wants sex, I'm still talking about it. And at some point, I'm going to figure out how I can actually go and do that. We have to open up and have these tough conversations, no matter how tough they are, no matter how much you want to pull your hair out, no matter how much you want to even strangle your spouse for bringing this conversation up. Like, who the hell did I marry? Who the hell am I in a relationship with? Why are we even talking about this? If you don't, sis, if you don't, bruh, you're going to be on the losing end of the stick, because just because you're talking about it doesn't mean it's ever going to happen. However, if you never talk about it, that heightens the chances of your partner going out there and doing whatever it is that they want to do. Again, in this case, being in an open relationship with your permission or without it. Again, I'm not saying you take on what they did, their actions. No, that's, there's repercussions for everything that we do. It's a reaction for every action that we take. I get all of that. I'm just saying, why even go through that when you can just be a big girl and a big boy and have the conversation? That's all I'm saying. Number 5, when you think about this conversation, even if you're the person who's bringing it up, if this is not you, don't even force yourself to do it. If it's not you, you don't have to do it. Just like the person who has to open up and listen to the conversation, just because you're having the conversation, you're like, you know what, I'm thinking about going out, and because I still want to have sex and blah, 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 and your partner agrees, it doesn't mean that you actually have to do it. I get it that the thought was there, but maybe after you talk to your partner, because your partner or spouse was open to having the conversation with you, maybe there is something that they could do differently to, whether bring some intimacy into it. Maybe it's oral sex instead of penetrative sex. Like, there are other things that you guys can actually do in your relationship to see if it satisfies you versus you just, let me just go out there and get the dick. Let me just go out there and get the PUSS. Insert. Just saying. Do what you do. I'm really not here to judge anybody, but I am here to educate and just give it out here and put the information out here so you are aware that these things are occurring in marriages, and in this case, before people get married. Like, just realize, one person in the relationship, two things I want you to realize. One person in the relationship usually wants sex more often than the other party. On top of that, some people just shut down and don't want sex at all. And there actually is a topic, a word to this, which is asexual. And some people define themselves as asexual, where they just can do without sex. Like, literally, they just can do without sex, but they still want to be in a relationship. Some of them don't want to be in relationships, but most people, a lot of them, still want to have that committed relationship. They're just not interested in sex. All I'm trying to say is that this happens more often than you even know or believe. And if you hear somebody who is in an open relationship, a lot of the time, I don't even want to put a number on it because I don't know the number, but a lot of the times it's because one partner has shut down sexually, like completely not interested at all. And the other party is like, still want to do that thing. But we good. Our relationship is good on every level but sex. And I still want that from over here. How would you react if your spouse, if your partner, if your lover came to you and said, hey, we got a good relationship. I love being married to you, or I want you to be my wife, or I want you to be my husband. But because we don't have enough sex, I actually want to open up the relationship. How would you react? I definitely want to know, especially if you've ever experienced this. How did you react? And are you still in that relationship? And obviously, if this is too public for you, look down in the look down in the description box below and find my email, because I still would like to know, especially if somebody has experienced this, what was the results? Did you actually do it? How did you feel? Was it guilty? You still doing it? Like, just let me know, because I want to know. All right, y'all. I will talk to you guys in the next video. 2 finger salute, y'all.